Welcome, everybody. I can't see you. You guys can't see anyone else. You can't see yourself. This is going to be a little bit fun, a little bit different. So, welcome to the webinar. Now, we're just going to wait a few minutes, let a few more people join, and we will take it from there. And I'm also going to be figuring out how to use this platform. But yeah. Jean-Berg, you have a question?
Yes. Yes, I would like to. Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Okay. So, I just want to know your thoughts on appointment setting offer because you know appointment wise and AI who are much more faster and cheaper than
What,
VAs.
what niche?
HVAC.
So, offering appointment setting, so with their inbound.
Appointment settings or estimates. Something more than just leads, what we have right now.
You can offer that, but then you need an inbound system. If you'd like, sign the client, and then Zach will be able to sort it all out for you.
So you are allowing me to sign a client on either appointment settings or whatever, and service delivery will be done for us.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
By the way, Jean-Berg, that works with inbound leads. Inbound leads, so not through ads. That's for inbound. Carolina,
Hello, Ismael. How are you? You good?
thriving.
Perfect. I don't know if I should ask the question or not because we're waiting for more people to join, but I figured since someone started, I wanted to get your opinion on a little video that I created for after the cold call, between the cold calling and the first meeting, I created a little video explaining a little bit on what we do for the prospects to get a little bit warmed and think a little bit about what we do already in advance. Do you think it's a good idea, or do you think I should create another type of thing or free resource to send them before the call?
Probably depends on the video. Is the chat feature working?
No, but the Q&A is working.
So
But the video is in Portuguese, so I don't know if I should send it.
no, send it to me. Send it to me privately. I'll open it up and we can watch it.
Okay, on WhatsApp?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
All right. I'm really undecided how I feel not seeing you guys. Like it's both amazing, but it's also very different. See this, disable talking. Okay, and let's just do Mehmet. Mehmet, yes.
Why can I not see anything?
I know it's amazing, isn't it?
No, not really. But can you look at my presentation? Because I made some changes to it. So like,
Yeah, send it to me privately, please.
oh, go on.
Wonderful. So we're gonna go over mindset and leadership, and we're gonna integrate that into sales. So that's what we're focusing on today. Let me just remove that. No. Disable talking. And then just final question for now, Camilo.
Yeah, so Ishmael, I basically, because the service we're providing is just basically leads. We're not guaranteeing that the customer is gonna get any clients. So I had a call earlier today, and the guy asked me how come he will see the value on what we provide if I can give him like if I cannot relate it to the number of clients that he's gonna make. I don't know if you understand me.
No, yes, but what you have to explain to him is that you're throwing as many balls as possible to him and he needs to hit them. You're going to get all the details for anyone who's partially interested, interested now, interested in the future, right? Your goal is to get him as many people that prospects as possible, and it's his job and his duty to close them. Make sense?
Yeah, correct. By the way, I uploaded the call in the file,
Perfect.
so I don't. Yeah, so
Then-
you can take a look at it.
They're gonna get reviewed. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank
No. Then let's do simple talking. Then okay, final question, Jenber. Don't make it a stupid question.
Awesome. When it comes to guarantee, if I'm able to deliver him anywhere between, let's say, 50 to 200 every single month, why I can't, for example, deliver 30? Guarantee 30.
But wait, you're talking about your inbound stuff.
No, just back then to this offer to the retainer, like bombarding with leads.
Because it all depends on the conversion rate and the quality of leads is all going to be different. People are going to be interested now, people are going to be interested later. And 30 is an unrealistic number. Make sense? You're using Facebook or Google?
Facebook and Google, I'm offering both.
Okay, but then they both have different things. Google's much higher intent, but the CPL is higher, and the landing page is a little bit more difficult to fine tune and make work. Those would be much better leads, and Facebook is less because it's not intent searched.
Okay, makes sense. And with the appointment setting offer, do you think it makes sense to have a guarantee? For example, I don't know, 10 appointments in 30 days, or I will work for free until I deliver that.
That is honestly a wonderful guarantee. That is a most like it's a bullshit guarantee, right? Because you're basically saying if I fuck up, I'm just gonna keep trying. So if you want to offer people that, go for it.
Okay, so what about money back?
No, don't do that. Because like more often than not, okay, we'll go into leadership. We'll discuss this today. So let's just do client. So I'm gonna go over that on this call today.
Over the guarantee?
No, we're going over client management, which is the biggest issue and why you don't offer guarantees. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome.
Disable token. Wonderful. So guys, this is going to be different. So I know you guys are used to just joining on a group call and, seeing each other, joking about. I'm going to try and get this a little bit more intense and make it much more fixed to, how do I say this? Get it much more fixed to learning, right? So after this, just feel free to message me privately. Tell me if you like it, if you don't like it, if it's useful or not useful, right? And we'll go from there. Now, what we're going to be going over today is mindset, all right? And it's a different type of mindset because it's not like what we did yet. So this is specific to leadership. Now, one thing that you guys have to understand is from how I operate. A very long time ago, something happened in a conversation, and I don't remember the full crux of the conversation, but I know what changed in my mind. I was speaking to, it was someone, I don't remember the full context. He had a company and he was very assertive. So we were going back and forth, and I said, I'm going to handle this, I'm going to handle that. Like I told him the whole list of what I was going to do. I said, don't worry about it. You fuck off and do your stuff. I've got my stuff. And then I heard a sigh of relief in his voice. And then all of a sudden, his demeanor changed from being assertive to much more relaxed, much more controlled. No, so not controlled, much more relaxed, and as though he could breathe, as though he could not give a shit. And he completely changed in how he spoke with me and how I saw him from a business owner to similar to an employee. And that really confused me. Because the whole time I've been speaking to him, he's been super assertive, super dominant, right? Now, not dominating over me, but just equally back and forth in a good way. And then there was a sigh of relief as though for the first time in the longest time he can breathe, right? And what you guys have to understand is in most groups, you get leaders. So in a group of people, more often than not, you'll get one or two leaders. Typically, it's leader number one, leader number two. Now, most people would assume that I like to lead. Honestly, I don't give a shit. If there's someone more competent than me or as competent, I'm happy to take a fucking backseat. I don't give a shit. but 99% of the time, no one takes the form of leading, right? They may act as though or give some hints that they'll lead or give some direction, but the fact is, people want to be able to sit back and not take the responsibility. Now, I lead in nearly every project I do, right? There's some that I don't, right? But basically, nearly all of them I lead. And it means two things. Firstly, it means that I get the best rewards, right? Because all the responsibility is on me. Now, I can't ever say, oh, the reason it didn't work is because of the fucking team. No, that was my fault. I had a retarded team. Right? I remember I was in a business meeting with what I think it was like with 5 people, right? And each person was competent, but fuck me with it. Personality was all retarded. And I said, let's have a team meeting. And it just went terribly. Now I could have sat there and said, okay, he's an idiot because of this, she's an idiot because of that, and blamed everyone. But I thought to myself, what the fuck have you done? Why have you put yourself in a position where you're with retards? But now from the team side, they can put all the responsibility on me, all the blame on me if the project doesn't go well. But now, how can you use this to your advantage? You'll come to realize, if you look out for it, that people get very relaxed when someone else takes the lead. And they will very comfortably take a step back when someone takes the lead, right? Now, let's go back to sharing. So now, while I want to talk about, I want to talk about client management last, right? So let's look at handling sales, right? So that's the first thing that we'll go over. When it comes to a sales call, you guys have to understand that someone has come to you with a problem, right? It's not that you're discussing stuff. It's not that you're discussing ideas. It's not a mental masturbation room. It's not a room where you can go there and discuss ideas back and forth and let's see what you come to a good conclusion. No, they've come to a meeting with you and they really fucking hope that you're an expert. Like they genuinely hope. That's what they're fucking looking for, right? So let's go over here. So I'm business owner Bob, right? And let's just do this. So these are my months, right? I've had okay month. That's followed by that there is followed by a shit month. That there is followed by a little bit better. Opa, a little bit better. Followed by really shit. Followed by okay. Now, the fact is, most of your prospects won't have anything like this, right? Now, just for comparison, right? I'm just going to put this over here. That's what the top performers are doing. Relative to most of the people that you're going to be speaking to on sales calls, like this is the people on top. Realistically, it'll be a lot higher than this, right? I would say that this would go a bit lower. This as well go lower, right? Now, what these fuckers want, right? They've started businesses, whether it's a med spa, whether it's a gym, whether it is a roofing company, solar company, they want to be the best. Look at yourselves as examples. You guys want to be the best in your space, right? Let me just double check something. Okay, perfect. You guys want to be the best in your space. So they want the same thing. But now what they want is they want somebody who's going to get them really fucking good results. They want to hop into a call and hope that's the next fucking answer. But they're like, oh, don't have to hop into another call. I can give this to this part of the business. And yes, we can finally grow. We can finally do all of this. Right? But now what they're looking for is competence, conscientiousness, and a good fucking IQ. Or at the very least, that which is perceived, which is a leader, right? Someone who has the skill set to look at a project, manage a team, and get from A to fucking Z, right? And in order for this to happen, and this is like very big when it comes to sales, is you have to operate this way in your life. You have to take a lead in your life. If you are too cowardly as an individual, right, to tell people to go fuck themselves, to tell people no, to draw a line in the sand saying, I don't do that. I don't operate that way. No, thank you. Very much, it's just working on being disagreeable and setting your own path and your own guidance and building up that confidence that when you make a decision, it's the right decision. If you don't have that, and if you're not building that up in your life, then what are you doing? Right? Actually, not even what are you doing? How do you think it's going to translate into sales? Then what are you doing? Now, one thing that you're going to experience, the bulk of it, right? I experienced this, right? A very, very long time ago, right? Maybe about 5 years, maybe 4 to 5 years ago. I sat down and I was like, I'm guessing. I'm just guessing. Everything I'm doing, I came to the realization, I'm just guessing on what to do because I don't have enough data, right? I'm just trying to think, do I do this? Do I do that? I think this and it's wrong. I think that, oh, it's a little bit right. And it's just a continuous game of guessing because you don't have all the metrics, you don't have all the variables. So you have to go out into the open market and test it. But what you need to be doing is doing that frequently. What you need to be doing is doing that with your life. If you don't want to go out with people, don't go out with people. Make a decision for yourself and make it the right decision. And through all of these micro actions that you do, it's going to fall into your business and it's going to make it much easier for you to lead a team, for you to lead a business, for you to manage things, right? It takes a lot of responsibility to be able to look at other people's work and go in there and fix it, or be willing to fix it, or be able to help people, to be able to train people. Now, when I look at any project or any piece of work that I give to anybody else, I know for a fact that in our heartbeat, I may be needed to do the work for the person. They may fuck off, they may fuck up, and I need to be there to show them how to do it myself, and to lead by example. Now, one big fact is, for the bulk of you, you would fire yourselves within the week, maybe a little bit less, because you do not lead by example, right? Now, as it stands right now, I've got good team members around me. I can't show up late. I can't, finish early. I can't be seen to not working, right? There was a time I caught myself on Instagram because I was sending a message and then I was doom scrolling for a bit, right? Retarded action. And then the person next to me I saw was doom scrolling as well. And I'm like, fuck. I let them do that. Not so much let, but I said it's okay for me, so it was okay for them. But then you have to lead. And the way you lead is by having people around you think one of two things. Either that individual is on the right trajectory, I want to join them because I like where that's going. Or further than that, that is a person that I want to become like. That is a person whose characteristics, whose lifestyle, whose life, whose morals, culture, beliefs, and mission, I want to be like that. I want to have my own version of that. Right? And you have to recognize the more extreme that you take that, the higher quality of standard of people you will take on. Now, I tell people, do not follow me, do not repeat me, because I am to the extreme. But now the benefit of being to the extreme is I attract to the extreme talent, right? Where people, I shit you not, the amount of times that I've said to people, look, understand, if you join my team, you will suffer, you will bleed. Like, it will not be good. A lot of your life will go to shit. You'll make money, you'll know how to make money, you'll learn like fuck ton of stuff, and you'll be given too much responsibility to handle. You'll come to the breaking point, you'll break, and then you get even bigger. And I get people wide-eyed, like, yeah, that's really what I want. But then in order to attract that, you must be that. One small example is cold calling. There are many people who, as soon as they get started, they just want to hand over cold calling. And then they expect people to be able to do the same thing. But you couldn't do it yourself. So now, how does that work? How is it that you won't do a task and you'll give money for someone else to do the task, but you won't fucking do it yourself? What on earth can you expect? How can you ever attract A-star team players or A-star business partners if you can't handle the heat? There's been many people who have joined on a project, on a business, or whatever it's going to be, and they can't keep up. Their mental breaks. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best, but these individuals, they still have other aspects of their life that they haven't dealt with, and it's all clashing, and it's all going to shit, and they can't sustain it. But now, if you want to play with the big boys and the big girls, you have to act like that, right? There's a certain oomph behind you where you know that you're a member of the club and you can recognize it in other people from how they talk about work, how they handle their work, how they just handle general situations. Now, people very quickly, when they meet me, they know who I am, right? And what do I mean by that? As soon as I speak, like I like to tell people I'm introverted. For some reason, everyone disagrees with me, right? Because I show who I am. People look at me and they understand this person is A, B, C, D, because I'm fully formed. I've looked at what characteristics I wanted to develop and I've developed them. And now to another extreme on disagreeableness. There are many people due to my, sadly, I know this will surprise many of you, I'm not 6 foot. I know many people think I'm 6'2", 6'3". Sadly, I'm not, right? So there's been multiple situations where people underestimate my assertiveness, right? And then within 3 seconds, 95% of people shit themselves because I'll respond and they'll think, fuck, this person will take it too far. Fuck, this person's gonna fuck me off and ruin my day, so on and so forth, so on and so forth. And I make sure that I do. I make full 100% comfortable in that. But I've had to build that within myself. And I've had to build a way of being hyper disagreeable where I don't end up in a jail cell, where I don't end up in unnecessary confrontations, but I will still take over. Right. And this is the type of individual that you need to become. This is how you need to form yourself in order to, because in order for you guys to get to the top level, right? Now, let's go back onto this aspect here, right? Which is handling sales. Now, how does this apply to a sales school? When you've been able to really work on yourself and make it apply to your life, right? It will naturally come in on a sales school. I'll give an example. There was a time that I believe it was a mentee. Yes, a mentee was he was closing a good amount of deals. Like he had hit 20 or 30 Gs in like a short period of time. And he said, messaged me, Ismael, please join. I can't close this guy. I don't know how to close this guy. Right? I joined the call. The guy was very confident. I saw by the demeanor, the frame, like the student, his frame wasn't as good as the other guy, right? It took about 1 minute of me just being me, and the guy sat down, sat back, realized I'm well past his level of expertise, and he started speaking very honestly with me. Turns out the student thought he was an intellectual buyer, and I came to realize after just questioning him, he was broke to shit. But now, student's already made 20 Gs. He knows how to close deals. So what's the difference? The difference is it's in the nuances, it's in the subtleties on how I react to things, how I question things, how I'm comfortable being assertive and not being bothered by it, right? And that automatically adjusts the frame. But now you have to look in the mirror and you have to think, are you the type of person who's able to do that? Now, obviously we have our discovery questions. The question is, how do you ask your discovery questions? How confident, how blasé, how laissez-faire, which means like doing something in the nature of not giving a shit, making it super casual, right? How does that impact how the prospect sees you? Does a prospect believe when you're on a call that as soon as they give you the work or as soon as the contract is signed, that you will lead this to the very fucking end? Now, I'm not saying you're going to hit all of their KPIs, you're going to double their business, because that's not what we do. We're here to support business. Right? We're not here to promise life-changing shit. We're here to promise increase, right? So as an example, let's see over here, nice and simple, increase, boom, just slight increases, right? But what you guys don't get, right? So many of you don't see the truth behind this, which is the fact that, let's say soda is your niche. You guys are like, yeah, I want to get like 10 deals. I want to do like 20, 30. I want to bring in 5, 4 deals that close monthly. You would break their business. Like genuinely, you would break their business because 90, well, let's say 75% of these businesses plus, right? They are not at that type of multinational corporation scale. So when you hit them with too much business, now the good thing is you most likely won't, but when you hit them with too much business, you're going to break their business. They haven't come to a marketing agency to say, I want to be big tomorrow. It's, I want to grow my business. I've been doing it for 5 years, and I'd like you to be a part that helps me grow, helps me increase. And the fact is, as long as they're making a 1 to 2, so for every $1 they put in, they get out 2, they're going to be happy with you, and you have to be realistic with that. And you have to tell them, look, I'm comfortable with this. This is what I do. I have no issues with it. And when you have that type of attitude, when you tell them, no, this is mine, I will do it. How do I know I'm going to do it? Because again, it's going to work. I'm in charge. That's how I know. Right. And you have so much self-conviction, but it's not exaggerated. It's general self-conviction of how you are as an individual. That's what's going to allow people to put trust in you. Now, when I started, before I had clients, right, I had one thing pushing me over. Now, many of you guys who don't have clients or are on a low client count will say, but I don't know if I'm going to deliver the results. I don't know this. I don't know that. I had said to myself, oh God, I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to do an ad. I didn't know that you can qualify leads. I didn't know about automations. All I knew is I want a business, right? I got myself through that by understanding that my name is Ismael Aziz, and I will do everything in my power to make it work. I will not sleep. I will not eat. I will read. I will learn. I will absorb. I will try. I will test. One thing I can guarantee is it's going to work because I'm going to give it 110%. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't fucking work. Hakuna Matata. But I'm going to give it everything I've got to make it work. And at the end of the day, no matter how successful you are, no matter how good you are, no matter how much success you've had in the past, you can't make it at 100%. Right? Because I could give a client, and this has happened multiple times, where I'm giving them the creme de la fucking creme. Like, it can't be better. We're tracking the calls. We're listening to the calls that the clients are having with the prospects, right? Creme de la creme is being sent their way, and they're fucking it up because they're not good at what they do, right? So even if you are the best, you will not succeed at 100% because there is no such thing as perfection. You just have to aim to be excellent, and that's through leading yourself and then leading people around you in order to get the best results possible. Now, let's move on to Jean Bru's question, right? Or the point that he made about how can I guarantee? The fact is, one big thing that kills people in SMA, and this is beginners, right? It's a pain in the bloody ass. It's client management, which is one of the toughest things to train because it's on live calls and there's so much complexity in it. When a client says to you, oh, I'm not happy with these leads, or I don't want to call all of these people, right? Your automatic brain will go to, oh, then I need to set up a system. So, But if you translate what the client's saying to you is they're saying, I can't be asked to pick up the phone to increase my business. I can't be asked to call 100 people in order to get 20, 30,000. Now, is that an issue from your side or is that an issue from the client side? Right? And you need to be very good. I don't even want to say very good. You have to be relatively skilled at speech, structure, and just how you frame everything to the client. I'm going to give an example when it comes to dating. Now, obviously, I'm a virgin, never dated, etc., etc. If I'm in an argument with a lady, right? There are 2 ways that something can be said, or let's say 3 ways. I can say it aggressively, I can be relatively neutral, or I can paint a wonderful picture and I can make shit seem like fertilizer for the best rose that there is. Right? And if I think of an example or something from the hypothetical past that never happened, I'll give you that example. But it's how you frame it to your clients. It's how you structure it to your clients. Now, there are certain times where you have to be hyper assertive and you have to have a go with them and you have to have a talk with them. You have to say, look, I've got other clients who are making these calls and they're making the money. You had told me A, B, C, that you want your business to grow, that this is the problem, that is the problem, but you don't want to put in this work. Now, look, I can speak to my network and get you a team, right, that can handle these leads. But the fact is that you've got a list of people, let's say it's 20 people. one of those people are really interested and they need your services, and you're not willing to call 20 people in order to grow your business. So can you remind me how much your lead is worth to you upon it being closed? They'll say their numbers. So you're telling me you're not willing to just go through the list to find that one person? These people have filled out their information, right? And you have to handle it in that demeanor, and you have to change the dynamic to how your clients see it. Now, one great example, or one thing that I believe you guys will be able to relate to, is cold calling, right? Many of you guys have found cold calling to be very difficult, right? But then from our side, we've explained it to you in such a way that you're like, you know what? This makes sense. This is what we have to do because we're looking to grow. Now, why can't you do the same with your clients? One thing you have to recognize is your clients aren't making a lot of money. There's a few prospects out there, generally a few in all markets, that are making fuck money. The rest of them aren't. Yes, they're making a little bit more money than you guys, but they're not making stupid money. So you need to speak to them accordingly because they want to be making stupid money. And you have to put them in their place, and you have to put them in order, and you have to set the right expectations. Now, they would much rather hear that you're going to get them, what, a 30% increase in their business, right? Where it doesn't even seem that good, where it's 1 deal to 2 deals monthly. And they are confident that you will get them that 1 to 2 deals monthly. Now, granted, work has to be done from their side, right? Borderline, any client I close in any space, I tell them, just for my own sanity, I will work you like a dog. They say, yeah, I'm perfectly okay with that. I said to the president that they're going to be working like dogs because that's what's required to succeed. There is no one who has hit the top of any industry through, you know what, let's just automate it and everything comes willy-nilly. It's the easiest way to get business because that's not realistic at all. Like, not at all realistic. If that happened, it'd happen for a short moment, the market would readjust and everything would normalize. Right? Unless there's retarded offers being thrown around, that's not what works and that's not what happens. And you guys have to understand that when it comes to the discovery, because discovery is very important, that's what you need to focus on. Right? Coming across as someone who leads, a leader, where they can finally breathe because the solution is here. We've built up the negative rapport. Oh, that would be after, right? But after the discovery is handled and throughout the presentation, they're seeing how you speak. They're seeing how you hold yourself, right? You're not here to give your clients oral pleasure. You're not here at their demise. You're not here as a dog. You're not here as an IT assistant. You're here as a business owner, right? And this is your specialty, like they have their specialty. And they're going to hand it over to you and you're going to get the work done, right? That's how you have to handle it. And when it comes to client management, you need to be on those weekly calls. You have to go through every single lead in the beginning because you need that reinforcement of what's happening, what's not happening, right? The calls need to be recorded. From Zach's side, that's being done, right? Where we're listening in on the client's calls to make sure that they're doing the work. We can see how many calls they're making, right? We can see all the data and we know whether the fuck up is on our side or the fuck up is on the client's side. And when it's on the client side, you guys have to be comfortable shitting down their throats because at the end of the day, they're just humans. But now, in order to do that, you have to apply that to the whole aspect of your life. Because in no country or no universe, fucking multiverse, are you going to be able to, in your real world, like in no real world, but in your day-to-day, be a timid bitch, right? And then when you speak to your clients, bravado, chest is out, you're handling everything accordingly. Now, obviously, there's going to be a disconnect as you build all of this up, but they both have to be built up simultaneously for you to become the best version of yourself. Because if your socials aren't good, then your clients won't be good because all you need is a bad day where you don't have that self-reassurance because you can't stand up to your friends, you can't stand up to your partner, you can't stand up to your parents or family, right? And then you doubt yourself standing up to your clients. You guys are in a business where you can add 6 figures to someone's bottom line. In order to do that, you have to act accordingly. You have to hold yourself to certain ways, right? You are not here to appease your clients by giving them everything that they want. You're not here to say, yeah, we'll do everything, automate this, that. It's a lot of work from their side, like it's a lot of work from your side. Now, all these businesses and business owners have been working like dogs to get their business to the position of where it's at. And now all of a sudden you just think, let me make it super easy. No, it's still a lot of work, right? Look at the program that we have. We are pushing to help you guys as much as we can, right? We've got what, 4 things in the space in the pipeline coming out in the next few weeks. That's going to make a massive difference, but it's still a lot of work from your side. You still have to push yourself to a very high degree. We'll be able to help you focus, but then while focused, you need to work like dogs, right? This will make the biggest difference to your lives. And it's leadership. And it's similar that was discussed yesterday. It's the second order consequences where when you act in a certain manner, or you do something in a certain way, or you handle or address a certain pain, that's going to be going into how the rest of your life works, how your sales goes, how your cold calling goes, right? One small example is on cold calling, where I tell you guys, if a prospect is not interested, you need to hang up before they let you know that they're not interested. You're not here to appease people. You're not here to, when they say, no, thank you, or go fuck yourself, you're not here to hear that. No, hang up. Oh, I don't think, hang up. And you just call the next person, because you're not here to talk to people. You're here to go find business. And if someone's not interested in your business, you fuck off and you carry on. Now, based on my nice long ass spiel, does anybody have any questions?
Yeah. So you could say how you do one thing in your life is how you do everything.
Of course.
So you have to, in absolutely every aspect of your life, try your absolute best. So it can be reflected on the sales calls. And
Yes. Okay. So I'll give you an example, because I said it to Zach and he was surprised, right? So I've worked a bunch of jobs in the past, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And there was one job where I was in a pizza place. Now I got to know myself in the pizza place truly well. The first one isn't a point that I'm trying to make. It's just a fun little anecdote where the guy that I was making pizza with, like, who's my work friend, he would laugh. Like, there's one time he laughed loads. And I was like, why are you laughing? Like, I'm dope at my work. He's like, Ismael, like, every woman, you ask them all the questions and you're really good with client management and customer management. And every man, you look at them, you say what you want, and you look back down and you just get it done. Right. So that was a funny thing. But now there was a time, no, a few times where I was in charge of toilet cleaning. Right. Generally, I would go clean the fucking toilets. Right. Now, granted, it's good that restaurants do that. I cleaned that toilet to perfection. I remember I've got my fucking gloves on, I've got the fucking scrub and the sprays. Every time I cleaned the toilets were cleaned amazingly. Now, it's not because I have a fetish for toilets. It's because no matter what I do, everything I do to the best that I can. Now, obviously, there are days when I don't do that. But when I'm in a moment and I have a challenge or I have a chance to show myself, whether it is a fucking, literally in my case, whether I'm scrubbing a fucking toilet, whether I'm on a sales call, whether I'm doing anything in my life, I will do it to the best of my capacity. Those toilets, I shit you not, there was no shit on them. They were clean. Anyone who used a toilet after me, you're welcome. Right? But then it's not, but then I apply it to all aspects of my life, and you guys have to apply it, because you can't tell yourself that you're going to be really good when it comes to your work, but then in other aspects, you're not really good. You don't push yourself to, I don't want to say the maximum, but you don't push yourself to the capacity where you respect yourself. Now, understand, if your ego is too high to clean a toilet properly for other people when it is your job and duty, that will reflect in other aspects of your life and your business where you don't take that as seriously. And because of your ego, you won't want to do it. Right? I had a massive argument with, not argument, sorry, I had a massive bollocking on one of my team members. Right? Let me just make sure. Yeah. Where there was a new team member that had come in, and I had said, look, I need you to be friendly. Right? Now, granted, he doesn't like humans very much, and he was very argumentative about it. I gave him the longest spiel, saying in everything that he does, he needs to be the best at it, whether he likes it or don't. Is a long spiel. The conclusion was, when I tell you, you need to be friendly, you need to say to me, how friendly, sir? Would you like me to go fuck the person? Right? I literally said that and I made him repeat it to me. I said, I need you to go talk to this person. He repeated, yes, sir. I said, I need you to be friendly with them. How friendly would you like me to fuck them? Right? Because everything you do, whether you see it as important or not, or especially when your ego gets involved, you have to drop it because you have to understand you're here on a mission. And a good way to put it, and it's where I've always seen it, is fuck what I want. What does my business want? If my business was a living entity, what would it tell me to do? How would it tell me to act? And that's how I need to act. Right. And for a lot of you guys, you'll see that in some aspects of the business would not like you. Alonso, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I kind of heard Andrew Tate said something similar, like, yeah, if you do something absolutely at your best, it like affects, reflects on the other aspects of your life. So yeah,
No, you can't be lazy in some aspects of your life and think it's not going to leak everywhere else. Like you need to be built in a way where you don't have that in your system. Whether it is good, whether it is bad, right? You have to keep pushing forward. And when you push forward on the shit that you don't want to do, it makes it 1,000 times easier to push forward on the shit that you want to do. Does that make sense?
yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. Carolina.
Hey Ismael, thank you so much for the advice so far. It's been awesome. I just wanted to ask you for an example, because I feel like I understand it, but I don't know how to portray that into a sales call. You were talking about, for example, that you hopped on a call because someone was a bit insecure, and as soon as just jumped on a call for like 2 minutes or 5 minutes, the person on the other side of the screen changed their behavior a little bit. So how do we make ourselves less more, not more assertive, but more about authority, instead of being so chilled and trying to please people and stuff?
It's super simple. It's in the nuances, right? So I'll give an example. I've spoken to like people just like networking, just random online, like we hop onto a call. I'm introduced to whatever, right? And they're used to these calls where like, hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. Da, 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 like all the dumb shit, right? And I hop into the call. My tonality, don't give a fuck about them. I'm here to discuss stuff and get shit done. And then all of a sudden, they're put off and they get nervous. They start to stutter. Now, when I'm bored, I'm going to make them stutter more by being like even more me, right? But you have to stop trying to be liked. And just in that alone, right? It throws people off. Because we're tribal creatures and we like the concept of being liked because it means that we're going to stay in a tribe. Right? Now, my ancestral line is very different to everyone else's. Right? I've come to that conclusion. There's lots of proof. But you have to understand, as soon as you try to not be liked, you will piss people off. But at the same time, people will respect you and people will not want to go against you. The amount of times that, and it's a strange thing, right? Back in the day, when people said it to me, when people saw that I did whatever the fuck I wanted to do, right? They would argue or say, don't be like this, don't be like that, or it's not good characteristic traits. As soon as money started fucking coming in, everyone's like, yeah, I wish I could be like you, but I'm not like you. Right? It's the willingness to not give a shit and just being direct, being to the point. Right? Now, Carolina, when people say, do you believe that people have said to me, do you offer guarantees?
Yeah, no.
No. There are times where people do it. Yeah. My instant response, oh, I'm your guarantee. And they chuckle. What? I said, I'm your guarantee. You don't need a guarantee. I'm here. You're welcome.
Okay, amazing. But can you give me, for example, as soon as I get into a call, for example, I'm like, hello, prospect name, how are you? Thank you so much for hopping on the call.
Why the
So
fuck?
this is
No,
too
why the
friendly,
fuck?
right?
Why I get thanked to hop onto calls? Yes. If I'm selling shit, people will thank me for my time because I've put my time to be there. Why would you thank anyone to take out time for an opportunity to speak with you when you were here to help their business? Are you
Okay,
here
so
to help
I'll
their business,
try
or
to
are they
narrow
here
it
to help you?
down. Yeah, no, I'm gonna help them.
So why the fuck are you thanking them for the opportunity that they'll be graced that you can help them?
Okay, so it'd be just like, hello, I cannot even do it. Like, hello, let's hop on the call very quickly to be strategic of our times. And this is, let's start with the discovery or blah, 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 blah.
You know,
So
throw them
very
off.
neutral tone.
Throw them off. Right? Now, granted, as a lady, you've got two different styles to use. Right? You can use witchery that ladies use. You know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Or you go just throw them off. Right? Be assertive. You're here for business. Make it clear that this is your job. This is your business. This is not a personal life. Right? The amount of times a client has said to me, we can be friends. I said, no, we're not going to be fucking friends. I'm here to do my work. I would never go out with you. Right? Now, granted, I've said that and it's really offended people. I typically say it in a joking manner. But you're here for business. You're here to get work done. This person has a problem. You have a system that fixes that problem. Your likability does not matter. So, Carolina, let's imagine that you have a solar company, right? And I have a system that fixes it perfectly, right? Not fixes it, but allows you to grow your business. And you're confident to shit that it will. But you really hate me as a human being. Are you going to use the product?
No, sure, yeah.
So what's the point of being likable?
I get it. I just don't know yet how to switch that in my personality. So instead of what traits and what subtle changes I should do when I'm talking, I understand like,
disagreeableness and assertiveness,
okay.
right? Whenever you are in a debate or a discussion, just fucking disagree. I like to do it. I'll just disagree, even if I'm on the other side of the spectrum, right? I'll just disagree. But now the reason I disagree is because I want to develop my thoughts. I want to see, cool, how can we counter this? If you have this opinion that I agree with, what about this counter? What about that counter? What about that counter? Right? Just like this development and understanding. You need to have that capacity and that ability and the willingness to do that. Right? You
Mhm.
need, and now you have to understand, the more you develop this, the less your social skills are going to thrive. You won't become a social butterfly. Right?
Mhm.
Because you're developing three things. It's assertiveness, disagreeableness, and lack of politeness. Right? Now, socially, terrible things. You don't really want to be in these categories. But for business, they're very good things. The top business owners in the world are Machiavellian, psychopathic, and narcissistic to an extent. The narcissism I slightly disagree with, like not to a max, but the other ones very much so.
Mhm.
Right? Because they need to be to get to the top. They need to be willing to tell their team to go fuck themselves. They need to have difficult conversations. They need to push the business forward. And when someone's fucking up, then they say, get the fuck out of my way, and they fucking fix this. Right? But then you have to form that personality because, or not the personality, you have to form the ability to do that. Because if you don't have it formed, you won't be able to do it when the time comes. Make sense?
Yeah. So for now, I could start adopting. I know it's better to be scriptless, but probably to be more assertive, write down everything that I need to say in my presentation, and even answering questions, have like 3 bullet points on how to answer the questions and then shut up instead of rambling. Maybe smile less and be more, quiet and not low energy, but less hello and more like hello.
No, literally, right? But the fact is, what you need to be doing is you have to be looking at your day-to-day life and think, when am I trying to be liked? Did I just try to be liked? Did I do something to appease the other person? You have to study yourself and you have to think why, and you have to stop it.
Mhm.
Now, granted, there are many circumstances where I am trying to be liked, right? I was joining the wait list for AP, right? I was trying to be very liked, right? But then I'm doing it on purpose, right? So there are circumstances where being agreeable, it works for me, right? Other circumstances where it does not work. And when it comes to business, be disagreeable because being likable, not going to help you. right? And even when it comes to retaining clients, you don't have to be likable. You have to be personable, and you have to have good relationships with your clients, but you don't have to be a likable person. And you have to understand, Karina, that more times than not, when you are likable or you try to be liked, you're being fake. Because you're showing to the prospect a side of yourself that is simply there because that's what you believe they want to see. And that needs to die. Because you don't need to, you don't show them what you think they want to see. You show them what they need to see in order for the deal to close. And being likable is not one of the factors of what it means for deals to close.
Yeah, that I understand.
But like even when you speak now, right? The second time that you spoke now, you said again, thank you so much. And you gave me a compliment, didn't you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because when I don't like something, I also say it.
No,
So
no.
when I do like
But
something, I always make sure of saying it.
why compliment me? What is being gained?
It's just something that I even developed. I always try to, as soon as I see someone, try to make a compliment or
Yes,
something.
you're trying to be liked. Kill it.
And to make them feel better because it's so
Yes.
cute to see people's faces, you know.
No, but
Not you specifically. Like,
it
I know you're
doesn't.
not gonna smile and light up, but in general, if you see a person and you give them a compliment, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you made my day," and it's like, "Oh, perfect. Now someone's happy."
And what the fuck? And how much money is that gonna make?
Nothing, but not everything is about money. But yeah, this is not sales related. I get what you're saying in sales, and it's totally true.
Zach said maybe you should be a babysitter.
I
Right?
was. That was a problem, Zach, for so many years.
Zach, have I ever tried to make someone's day better? Like, where have you ever seen me actively try to make someone better? To my benefit, yes. Outside of to my benefit, no. I couldn't give two fucks. Right? There's one person on the team that I works like a dog, like works same a bit more hours than I do. Right? I love it. He doesn't communicate. There was a time that he was very well rested for a prolonged period of time, and he started speaking to me about it, like his personality. I looked at him and I said, we should get you back on no sleep. You've seemed to form a personality, and I dislike the fact that you have a personality. I much preferred you when you were a zombie. All right. That's an extreme, but you need to be so much closer to the extreme. Right? This is 0. This is extreme. The ideal number is probably about 85 to 90%. Now, I take it to 100%. It's unnecessary. This backlash sometimes, but that's how you have to be. Carolina, stop trying to make people smile. They don't want they don't want to fucking smile. They want you to do your work and make money. That's it. And then our Lieutenant Tamo. Tell me.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't fucking hear you.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. So being a leader is taking responsibility, right?
Yes.
Imagine you're in a situation, you're in a group of people, and nobody wants to take the lead. But you know for a fact that probably if you take over, you won't deliver the result that is needed. But nobody will take over. Should you still throw yourself in the situation of becoming the leader of the group just to become more experienced?
I'll give you an example. I'm this example is extreme, but you'll understand how you need to do it, right? Now, I'm going to reference a story about my grandmother. So my grandmother passed away of cancer a very long time ago. Now, as she's getting cancer, I don't know it. I was like the last to find out that she had cancer because I'm fucking working on a computer all day. I don't socialize with my family. Like, I'm not involved in family drama. Now, I had known about this and I'm like, fuck, working. And then at one time, I was like, fuck, let me go to hospital. Now, granted, I was my grandmother's second to third favorite grandchild, and she had lots of grandchildren. I was like comfortably second to third. Like, we were just chill, right? So I never had a bad relationship with her. She was actually very good to me as a like young child, right? And then I arrived there and she's fucking bedridden. She's shitting herself, literally, right? Like she can't move. They need to wipe her ass. And I'm like, fuck. Like this is it. This is death. Let me observe as it happens. And it was very sad, right? But now I'm processing it, so on and so forth. The whole family's there, right? And then I visited every day, and then the whole family's there. And then I found out, right? But she wasn't eating, right? She wasn't walking. I genuinely thought she was like disabled from the legs down, like they just stopped fucking working. Like the cancer went too far. I've never seen cancer before. I don't think cancer could do that, right? But at the time, I thought so. And then I had found out that she was missing, like it came through conversation that she was missing her like physio things. And I'm like, she can fucking walk. Then I had asked, like, can she walk? They're like, yes, but we don't want to push her. Da, 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 da. So I come to the realization that none of my family get like I'm taking it extreme. Is how I saw it. None of my family gave a fuck about my grandmother dying. They'd rather her be happy dying and die so that they didn't have to feel bad about pushing her. And I was like, you're gonna let my fucking grandmother die because you don't want to fucking push her. She's shitting herself and other people are cleaning it because you want to feel good and you don't, and all that angered me, right? Very soon after, I had a conversation with my father about, look, I'm going to do something, and I shit you not, if anyone challenges me, I'm going to fuck them up, right? I'm going to get her up and I'll do everything. She'll be walking. Leave it to fucking me, right? She'll be walking, but no one is to argue with, right? Now, my father's the eldest of his siblings, so if he gave me that right, I've got that right. I've got that dominion. I'm in charge, right? He gave me that right. I pulled up. I slept next to her, so I literally dragged the sofa next to her bed, right? And for I believe it took 8 weeks, right? For 8 weeks, I would argue with her, force her to eat. Like she would throw food at me, she would swear at me. But I forced her to eat, I forced her to walk, right? Now, granted, this woman has never sworn before. I've never heard her shout or anything like that. Like one of those like classical, timid, nice, sweet old ladies, right? I would repeatedly argue with her, argue with my family, force her to eat food, force her to walk, right? And it was because I gave a shit and no one else was doing it. Now, as the grandchild, it's not my, like, I shouldn't be the one fucking doing this, right? But I did it because no one else was going to. Now, it took 8 weeks, and at 8 weeks, she climbed 6 flights of stairs. So she left the hospital bed, went 6 flights of stairs up, 6 flights down, all the way till the end. The whole time swearing at me, angry with me. We're at flight 3. She said, I'm coming back now. I said, no, you're not. And I stood at the staircase saying, you're getting better, right? And but everyone had said it would take 3, 4, 5 months, maybe 6 for her to get out of the hospital. I got her out in 8 weeks, right? Because I forced myself to do something I didn't want to do for the betterment of other people. I led, right? And it was to the point no one in the family said shit to me because I was doing something that they couldn't do or weren't willing to do, right? And Tamo, I've never fucking done that before. I don't know how to take care of old people or get people rehabilitated. The nurses had said to me, some of them were quite cute. The nurses had said to me, oh, have you worked in rehabilitation before? I said, no. But I told them, and I told her, I am the Don in charge. This is Hitler's camp, and I'm in charge of it. You will listen to my way. No fucking, like, that's what's happening, right? And she got better very quickly, and I took the lead because fuck everybody else. So whether you know what to do or whether you don't know what to do, you have to do to your best capacity to take the lead and get it done. Now, granted, the story didn't end well, right? After that, she got back home, and then people were arguing with me to go to her house to take care of her. Lo and behold, she got sick again and fucking died, right? So that's the moral of that fucking story. Yeah. Now, I'll ask you this time. In that moment, or with the fact that she was arguing, swearing, and throwing food at me, did I do that which was right or which was wrong?
Well, you did what was right
There we
for
go.
me. Yeah.
But now you have to understand that throughout all of that, I did not cry once because no one could see me cry. Because I understood that everyone needed to have the right to feel weak. And in order for that to happen, I didn't get that right. And I'd only ever cried when the funeral was finished and I was alone by her grave. That was the only time I cried. Because in order for other people to be able to cry, one person needed not to. Make sense?
Yeah.
And whether it's a small thing like cleaning a fucking toilet in a restaurant, or whether it is something to that extent or even further, right? You need to be the individual that people can, when you're there, they can breathe. You don't get the right to breathe. And yes, that's a very big sacrifice if you decide to go down that route. But you have to understand that with that sacrifice, you get rewards. Make sense?
Yeah.
And those are the rewards that other people dream of, but they don't have the right to them because they don't do that which is necessary. And the more of that which you do, the more rewards you'll receive. It is a sacrifice. You lose a lot and you gain a lot. Hakuna Matata. It's part of the game. Make sense?
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, 100%. Thank you.
Wonderful. Now, everybody, that's the end of this session. I like this session and I like this style because it challenges myself and the team to make sure that we're repeatedly teaching you guys and focusing purely on learning rather than mental masturbation and group discussion, right? So please process this and put me a message on how you feel about these sessions. And I will see you guys all tomorrow unless there is any final questions. No final questions? Guys, it's been a pleasure.